Since we are running short of time, we'll have a 50 minutes discussion of the poetry by Azam Obidov, Hava Pinhas Cohen, Mathura, Nilim Kumar, Mitra Stoffmer, Prabhuta Sundar Kaur, and Annie Zeri. I welcome you all to the dais.
I'll read 3 poems, 2 small poems. First one, Rent House. In one outer room of mine, he sits and studies. In another one, he dines. In one of them, he sings, sleeps in the other. He rents all the 4 rooms of my heart. He is none but sorrow. Second poem, Robot. One male robot fallen in love with a female robot. They express love pressing button. They have a button each to kiss each other. And there is another button to forget each other during work. Last one, Salt. Salt is white. Salt is white, dazzling, like sorrow. Salt is nothing but sorrow. This earth, where 3/4 is water, it is the tear of the world, from where salt is born. Because we take salt, our blood is salty, our tears salty, our sweat salty, even our heart. The heart is the storehouse of sorrow, storehouse of salt. So, taking salt is contraindicated for heart patient. We feel sorrow just because we take salt. So, 3/4 of our life is sorrow. But still, salt is everyone's favorite. We can't take food without salt. Without salt, nothing appears tasty. Our tongues prefer most the salt. We take salt without any cause or reason. We get hurt without any cause or reason. Our tears are salty in happiness or in sorrow. The children do not take salt. They need happiness to be mixed in their milk, that is sugar. Then, gradually, one day, they too start liking the taste of salt. Then, their mothers announce to her neighbors that her pair of children do not like milk. They like only salty items, only salty. Thus, the children too gradually become victim of salt, of sorrow. The trees also like salt. They grow if they get salt. Do the wild animals like salt or not? I don't know. Even if they do, where they find, how they manage, I don't know. But domestic animals do like salt. Their masters try to make them share his sorrow by feeding them salt. One day Salt asked me, what is the relation with elephant, so that elephant has to be buried with a load of salt? I asked, is the powerful animal is loaded? It asked, is the powerful animal is loaded with sorrow, that it is to be covered with salt? I didn't reply. How do I explain to salt the signs of humans? Salt too is quite emotional. Salt would remain even if human race is eliminated. Salt would remain even if earth is destroyed. Because then God would shed tears, and tear means salt. Salt would stay, salt would remain in the teardrops of God. This salt, with its mysterious and deep character, that has given so much, that has allowed us to survive an ocean of tears, that has taught our life a unique, beautiful lesson. O salt of sorrow, I bow thee, I bow thee. Thank you. So my poem is not available, but remind him. সাগৰ এইভাবেই সাগৰে কাহানিও ক'ব নোৱাৰে সদায় জোনটোৱে তৰাবৰৰ সতে তাৰ লগত গা ধুবলৈ আহে বতাহেও তাৰ লগত থুব খোজে মাছ আৰু শামুক পৰেও গধূলিয়ে হেঙুলীয়া কৰে তাৰ বুকু এইভাবেই সাগৰে কাহানি হ'ব নোৱাৰে Thank you.
Now I request Havapinas Cohen to be here. Havapinas Cohen is a poet, literature and art lecturer, facilitator of poetry and prose writing workshops in Jerusalem, editor of poetry books and art books. She is the founder of magazine Des Moines for Jewish literature, art and culture, and editor for 22 years since 1989. Ma'am, we request you to be on the stage.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Manu Dash and all this wonderful group of people that prepared this festival. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Professor Enak. Thank you for this opportunity to meet with you and to bring my language, my world, with my friend Tzipi to this festival. I would like to start with reading in Hebrew. And this time, not like other times that I'm reading, there are in this room about another 2 people that understand Hebrew. So it's fun for me. So I would like to read it in Hebrew, so I'll have the music of this language. And I feel like Hebrew is this is so antique language, as well as languages here in India, and maybe you have the same feeling that this kind of antiquity can be lost in translation to other languages, so I would like to do it. I'll start with a love poem. The name is Blue. אני מבקשת שתקנה לי עגילים בכחול, הקרוב לירוק ויחצוב מהים והזמן. קנה והבא לי עגילים, 2 נטיפים בכחול, אני מבקשת מאוד, שיהיה צינור אהבה כושר ומביא וחומל, ויהיה משהו תלוי ומתנדנד, חפץ, עדות שפשטת את ידך ממך, ונתת בידי הערומה מכל שעון, ופשטתי את ידי לפניי, ונתתי לתוכה זוג עגילים בכחול, הקרוב לירוק, שיגן עלינו מכל. Blue, I ask you to buy me earrings of blue, which are almost green, carried from the sea and time. Bring me earrings, 2 drops of blue. I ask that there be a pipeline of love that connects and conveys and consoles something that hangs and dangles, an object of proof that you held out your hand, and you took my arm naked of even a watch as I extended my hand. You placed inside it earrings of blue, which are almost green, so that it will protect us from everything. The second poem that I'll read was written when I was getting up early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, nursing my daughter, my third daughter, third from 3, that now, this week, she will give birth to her own child, so it's homage from mother to mother. And it's, in fact, it's a prayer. I wasn't aware that I'm writing a prayer, but it is a prayer. A mother's prayer before dawn. At the hour when I am about to cook porridge, may all my strange thoughts recede. And when I touch my baby's back to check his temperature, let all my troubles leave me and not confuse my thoughts. Give me the strength to wash my face so that each one of my children will see his face in mine like a mirror cleaned for a holiday. And may the darkness that is sunk within my face be covered with light, so that my passion not break, nor my throat grow parched from a troubled thinking stream. May I not become powerless against an unknown, and may I never cease for even a moment to feel the touch of my children's flesh against my own. Give me your love, so that I will have enough of it in me to stand at my doorway, sharing it simply as slicing bread and spreading butter each morning, and your aroma of boiling milk overflowing, and the lingering smell of coffee is an offering of thanks and an eternal offering that I do not know how to give. And the last one that I read is a kind of art poetic. I speak to you from the title of this poem. I speak to you and ask you to listen. I speak to you in a way that it's not natural. You read the words and then my voice will come. I speak to you because in your listening to my shuttered voice, syllable after syllable, explaining with this composition, there is a chance for meeting. And you know that when strange eyes meet, things happen. There are touches. I speak to you from the end of the poem, like a carpet for dancing feet, suitable for them and tolerant of their steps. The nicer ones come from China or Persia, where woolen-handed women weave their days into them. I call you from the bottom of the page, in a clear language. If you don't listen, I'll turn blank. Thank you.
Before I call upon stage Ms. Annie Seti, I would like to speak a few lines about Mr. Nilip Kumar, since I missed him out. Nilip Kumar has 17 collections of poems, 3 collections of novels, and 1 book of essays in original Assamese language. He has 2 collections of poems in English translation, 2 collections of poems in Hindi translation, 1 in Nepali. His poems has been translated into French, English, Germany, Spanish, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, Odia, Kannada, Nepali, etc. Sorry. Now I have Miss Annie Zedi on the dais. Annie Zedi writes across genre and her body of work includes reportage, essays, fiction, drama, film and graphic storytelling. She is the author of Gulab, Love Stories, #1 to 14, and Known Turf, Bantering with Bandits and Other True Tales, and the co-author of The Good Indian Girl. I would like to have her here.
This poem is called Happenings. So often, this sort of thing will happen. A man will meet a woman and find his voice is deeper than a well in the sort of village the Central Groundwater Board has certified dark, where you aren't allowed to dig tube wells anymore and you need to be registered with the district authorities to get a new hand pump outside the kitchen and where you itch all over after a bath. Or a woman will meet a man and find that her eyes are flood-prone, low-lying swamps into which the rubbish of decades of suburban non-planning has been tossed, making them look hard when actually you could just sink into them. Often, a man will meet a woman and find that his gut is a sort of womb, a space in which something grows from seed to obsession, where his roots curl into the certainty of failure, an instinctive sort of space that swells and contracts and even bursts like a second misplaced heart. Or a woman will meet a man and find her arms are collapsible, like a set of folding chairs creaking in a sort of balcony that gets swept once a week by a servant who is turned into a domestic cry for help. With 50 layers of lard dimpling her elbows and a lumpy belly, who stares off into space, leaving the chairs out in the rain to rust, often a man will meet a woman and find a mountain on his back, a dusty hump at the base of his neck, floating low like brown fog. Things are uphill or downhill from here on, but there is no stopping from here on. Or a woman will meet a man and find the distance from highway to home triples overnight. Some nights are 3 times as longer than others when bad news has crawled back all the way from the city center, riding between the sheets of the morning newspaper, which arrived 2 hours after he left the house, 6 rotis wrapped in the torn achal of her oldest sari, the sort of night that cannot bear to end. So often, this sort of thing happens, that a man and a woman find a word buried behind the balls of their eyes, and they dig all around. They speak of fish, the price of things, the temperature outside. They bite into a word held as a cube of ice in their throats. They have seen mountains fold up in despair, but they swear they will beat another year out of this one, hauling home a cutting wind, or boiling river, or a flower. They will kidnap oasis noons to string a sagging cot. They will not say it, but they will sit dumb, defiant of what may come. It's another poem called City Twilight. People have done these things before. Heart sliced open, someone has talked before of ripping stars out of the sky. What right has anything else to shine when her heart lies mashed pomegranate on dust? Somebody before now has wanted to raise a butcher's knife and carve out the irascible sun. take a cleaver and make mince of this thing that goes on making day, come what bloody may. It leads her to think of all wish I could's, why can't it be's, and she says, as others have, no doubt, there, right there is why it deserves to fall. The stars, the sun, the bloody golden moon that becomes whatever he likes and the universe allows him to stay whole. In sheer surprise, a star bursts through the smog and falls off its chair, laughing. The moon muffles his mouth on the nearest ragged cloud and swears to show up same time next month. He leaves with a wink and all the stars blink, dazed, just a little crazed by this charming yellow monster of sliding loyalties. The sun simply reddens his face and politely swerves out of sight. He knows enough to show shame he doesn't deserve. He sinks on the promenade. She pauses and willing it. Go drown, she says. And he does. Against this uninterrupted view, why do they cut the palms down? She feels the tide rising. This is madness, she says, and picks up the phone. Before now, surely somebody must have wanted to hold down a pillow on the gap-toothed face of morning, or hurl herself out of a 7th floor window. She thinks this has happened before. On the way down, she too must spread her arms in a final token salam to trust, as if a just-met lover was there, waist to waist, arms aligned, egging her on. Take off the slippers. Fly, go on. And she does. She will not open her eyes too soon, nor look behind to see if the beloved follows this time. There is no doubt this time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have Prabhuda Sundarkar, who has 8 collections of poems, 1 collection of literary articles, and 3 edited anthologies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I write in Bengali. The first poem which I am going to read out is translated by Subhashish Tolapatra. Ugly poem. Thousands of years ago, our preceptors chose 3 dolls. In the wall of our drawing room, those 3 dolls are hung even now. The first doll tightly covers the mouth by both palms, meaning one should not say ugly words. The second one shuts the ears using both hands, meaning one should not hear ugly words. The third shuts its eyes, meaning one should not see ugly sights. The doll which covered the mouth could see the ugly sights and hear the ugly words, as the eyes and ears were not shut. The doll which closed its ears could see the ugly sights and say ugly words, as the eyes and mouth were not shut. The doll which closed its eyes, it too in the same way could say the ugly words and see ugly sights. Not to speak ugly words, not to see ugly sights, and not to hear ugly words, a doll needs at least 6 hands. The preceptors did not brood ever on this line, and now the young poets who lost 2 hands utter as part of ugly words and hearing ugly words and passing along ugly sides, oft and on, write innumerable ugly poems against those preceptors on the sand dunes of the deserts using the thumb of their foot. Mirror. This poem has been translated by Dr. Ashish Gupta, my friend. After repeated failures for being in hiding, a cave is a must, on whose wall a spider with a web gradually instigates our determination. Sir Robert Bruce, sometimes after being defeated and watching a cobweb on the wall, I have realized the victory means getting gradually entangled in one's own poisonous saliva. The last poem. The Snakes of Hawaii. In the last century, a book was published titled The Snakes of Hawaii. After its publication, curious readers who wanted to know about the snakes in Hawaii Islands bought it and took it home, only to find all the pages of this alphabetless book white and blank. When the agitated and deceived readers demonstrated before the publisher, he told them that this is no deception at all. In truth and in reality, there is no snake in Hawaii. Though this very popular anecdote is nothing but a cheap joke, I have also been scheming to publish a similar book of poems whose every page shall be blank and white. After the publication of this book, in spite of all accusation of deception, at least one reader would be located who would not consider himself cheated, because he knows I have not been able to write a single poem till date. Needless to say, that reader is me, myself. Thank you. বাংলাতে তো আমার মানে এগুলো নেই, still I am trying 4 lines. সভা। আমার আগেও এক প্রস্তাবক আছে। সর্বান্তকরণে আমি তাকে সমর্থন করি। আজ তবে এইটুকু থাক, সমিতির কথা পরে হবে। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call upon Azam Obidov. Azam Obidov is a poet, translator, short story writer, and cultural advisor from Uzbekistan. He has several books of poetry and translation to his credit, including Tunes of Asia, Dream of Lightsome Dawns, A Miracle is on the Way, and I Love You in Complete Boredom. Please, sir, we'd love to hear more of your words.
Where are you now? Who lies beneath your spell tonight? Before you agonize him, in farewell tonight, pale hands that once loved me, beside the Shalimar, who melts from rapture's road, will you expel tonight those fabrics of cashmere to make me beautiful, trinket to gem me to a dawn hotel tonight? I beg for heaven, prisons, let open your gates, a refugee from belief seeks a cell tonight. And I, Shahid, only am escaped to tell thee, God sobs in my arms, call me Ishmael tonight. This was not my poem, this was a poem by Aga Shahid Ali. Please accept my warmest appreciation of Indian culture, literature and art. And I will read my own poem now. Madiba. Madiba. Did you see the moon trembled? A leaf fell down the tree. I believed you could become a bridge between me and the universe. I'm not colorful, and I know I have bright rights written on the leaf. But let me ask, what would you discuss under the moonlight, on the bridge, on a peaceful day with a dictator, Madiba? And the poem is called Soul by Soul. Should you wish, seek for chance and forget your bad blood that is past. Let us feel in hearts. I'm a friend loving you just because let's sit side by side, soul by soul, as the feeling darts. Neither joy nor a sweet dialogue fit the needs of your tender soul, as each and every day for you is a true feast without any treats from too much of delight. It's good to keep away. Let's don't call to mind misfortune in peace season and welcome our lives while sitting tete-a-tete to those who fell in war, for not their religion, for they too human beings. Our tears let us shed. Seek for chance with the edge of a global love. Let us smash vanity one time and for all, be it joy or mourning that's come from above. Let us sit side by side and soul by soul. A jealous person, take me in your team. We will win. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call Mathura. Margus Latik, better known as his pet name Mathura, is an Estonian writer and artist, winner of the Gustav Suits Literary Award for his poetry collection, The Line Flowing Beneath Your Hand, and Viru County Literary Award for the year's Best Historical Novel. His translations include classical Indian texts like Bhagavad Gita and Bhartrihari's Vairagya Sataka, as well as works of contemporary Western authors. We welcome you here, sir.
This poem begins with rainfall in the narrow streets. Everything is first a dream. There was once a hillock here, drowned in sunlight and a sea of cypresses, but now it rains on pale and patient paths of stone, ever polished by the feet of visitors. Is there a meaning to it? Archways, walls of houses, the chime of bells and an echo of praises. rain that keeps on falling on Piazza del Campo, wetting my hair. The only word for it is serenity, or maybe business. For hasn't heaven always been the place of those who are ready to come falling down again? Everything that has been, and will not be again. Or if it is, then it will not be in the same way. After 1,000 years of settling, the sea washes us out onto a light blue shore, oblivious of our weight and roundness. We are as numb as a statue's hand. We need a book to tell us we are secrets. Yet the pages stick together like the yearly rings of a tree, so that we see them, but not into them. We need a set of laws about forgotten beauty, death's repulsive face, the racing wheel of time. Yet beauty remains an unwritten book, the same as life. Days, days, white blossoms, mist on the sea, as pages fall out, full of something, or nothing. The next poem I wrote actually almost 20 years ago on my first visit to a place very near from here, which is in Puri, and I feel very honored and happy to be able to read that poem today to you here. The poem is called Madness. Don't stop, poor man. The beggar army of Jagannathpuri's lepers will beset you. Even if you don't have anything to give them, they want alms and you don't want them to touch you, but they will. Know then that this town is your home. Mahaprabhu felt separation from Krishna here, running frantically in these tangled streets. His moon-colored madness rustled on the grey pavement. But you don't even know what it means to be separated from feeling separated. You're an exile, justified only by a visa, and his walks in the dunes were mornings filled with nets and fishes sold before they have died. Evening makes a market, fires burn on the beach like fires on incineration grounds. Skin goes first, then quickly fat. Muscles last longer, until it's only the bones and a man's deeper core that is left. No one lives here forever, you reckon, and thus there is perhaps no fault, no importance to this dust and dirt. Mourners strew flower petals on the deceased, and these will burn up even faster than the person they are decorating for a short time. In the morning, fish are sold again before they have died. Only Radhashraya Baba is not here today. At 7:15 he offers a butter lamp in the Yumna tank. Water to the sun, water that is holy. I will stay for today and tomorrow, with only one thought throbbing in my head. Don't stop, rich man. If you got something to carry, share it out until the whole world has the looks of your gift, and no one remembers you any longer. Aga saunas õitseb uksed valla meel uneleb ja maalib värvilisi pilvi, merd ja samblõisi. Taevas uus on igal hetkel tuulekeernes täna. Aeg veereb nagu helmes keskmise ja pöidlasõrme vahel. Teed on seegi halli kaderina ja küla. Palju õnne teist. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, sir. Now we have Mitra Stromer here. She studied painting in Tehran and Vienna. She lives and works as a freelance artist in Vienna, where she actively participates in arts education since 1982. Mitra regularly exhibits her works at home and abroad. She has 2 books of poems and illustrated. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. I write in my second language, German, and I translated them in my first language, Farsi, and one colleague from me translated them in English, and she would read it in English and I read in German and in Farsi. Ich baue. Ich baue mit Farben eine Heimat. Ich baue mit Buchstaben eine Identität. Ich baue mit Erde, Wasser, Luft und Feuer eine Stadt. Geschmückt mit zahllosen Sprachen, Kulturen und Glauben, umarmt vom Regenbogen, mit vertrauter Identität und göttlichem Duft. بنا می کنم، با رنگ‌ها وطنی می سازم، با حروف هویتی، با خاک، آب، آتش و باد شهری بنا می کنم، مزین به گویش‌ها، فرهنگ‌ها و کیش‌های بیشمار در آغوش رنگین کمان، با هویتی آشنا و عطر خدا.
I build a home with colors. I build an identity with letters. I build a city with earth, water, air, and fire, decorated with myriad of languages, cultures, and beliefs, embraced by the rainbow, with a familiar identity and a divine fragrance.
That is for women. Du tötest mich als Vergeltung. Ich weiß nicht, wofür du Vergeltung willst. Ich habe Angst und weiß nicht, wo du bist, wann du kommst, wer du bist, von wem ich getötet werde. Ich bin bereits tot. Du bleibst unbestraft. Töte mich nicht. Ich will dir schöne Geschichten erzählen. تو مرا می‌کشی برای انتقام. نمی‌دانم چه انتقامی. میترسم و نمیدانم کجایی، چه وقت میایی، کیستی، به دست چه کسی کشته میشوم. من مرده ام، تو بی مجازاتی، مکش مرا، میخواهم برایت داستانهای زیبا حکایت کنم.
It's an Odia. तुम्हें मोर हत्या कर प्रतिशोध नेबा पाई मु जाएनी तुम्हें कहीं प्रतिशोध चाहूच भीतरस्थ मु जाने ना तुम्हें कौटी अछ तुम्हें केते बेले आसीबो तुम्हें किए कहा द्वारा मो मृत्यु हेबो मु एमितिरे भी मृत मते मारना मु तुमको सुनेबी खूब सुंदर कहानी.
That was Sarita, our colleague, translated it. Ich brauche keinen Schleier. Ich tanze, du führst mich. Mein Geist beginnt zu atmen. Wir tanzen die vielen Vorhänge, die uns im Weg stehen. Zwischen dir und mir gibt es viele Vorhänge. Aber zwischen mir und dir gibt es keinen Vorhang. Ich tanze mit dir, du führst mich. Ich weine, du siehst mich. Ich tanze mit dir, ich flüstere dir zu. Ich lache mit dir, ich weine bei dir. Ich brauche keinen Schleier. Ich verstecke mich nicht vor dir. به چادر نیازی ندارم. میرقصم تو راهنمای منی. روحم تنفس میکند. ما میرقصیم لابلای پرده هایی که راه را بر ما بسته اند. میان تو و من پرده هایی بیشمار. میان من و تو پرده ای نیست. با تو میرقصم تو راهنمای منی. میگریم مرا مینگری. با تو میرقصم، با تو نجوا میکنم، با تو میخندم، با تو میگریم. به چادر نیازی ندارم. خود از تو پنهان ندارم.
I don't need a veil. I dance, you lead me. My spirit being to breathe. We dance around the many tents that stand in our way between you and me. There are many tents, but there is no tent between me and you. I'll dance with you. You lead me. I cry. You see me. I'll dance with you. I whisper to you. I laugh with you. I cry with you. I don't need a veil. I'm not hiding from you. We dance. We lead. Our spirit breathes. Thank you.
Zusammen. Ich will nicht mein Gefühl verlieren. Ich will nicht mein Wort verschweigen. Ich will nicht an meinem Glauben zweifeln. Ich wünsche die Liebe zu sein. Ich wünsche, silbrig zu sein. Ich wünsche, großartig zu sein, wie Liebe. Ich wünsche, wunderbar zu sein, wie Liebe. Ich wünsche, die Liebe zu sein. Ich wünsche, silbrig zu sein wie Wasser, dass du dich sehen kannst, dass du dich finden kannst in mir. Und wir eins werden. Zusammen sind wir vielleicht der große Ozean. Aber als ein kleiner Teich sind wir auch großartig und wunderbar wie Liebe. Zusammen sind wir die Liebe.
Together, I don't want to lose my feeling. I don't want to silence my word. I don't want to doubt my faith. I desire to be great like love. I desire to be wonderful like love. I desire to become love. I desire to become as silvery as water, so that you can see yourself, you can find yourself in me. And we will become one. Perhaps together we are a vast ocean, but as a small pond we are great and wonderful too, like love. Together we are love. Thank you.
I now thank all the panelists here. With this, we end this poetry reading session here. Thank you so much, everyone who are here. OLF 2019 is immensely grateful to its executive sponsor, the Northeastern Council. It is immensely grateful to its associate sponsors, Coal India Limited, Mother Dairy, Phenolics Industries, Paradeep Phosphate Limited, Brahmas Aerospace, NCDC. OLF is supported by Central University of Odisha, the Punch and Dholi Books.